We are here on the SOM Live podcast. I'm the artist known as Bronson Garrett.
Exactly.
And I'm here with my manager, the manager of champions.
And the owner of SOM Live.
Judas the Mad Hatter. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? What's going on,
It's
man?
good to have you on here.
Yeah, glad to be here.
So
finally I get to do something other than fake news with somebody.
Oh yeah, this is actual real news, and you're gonna get the hard-hitting news here today.
The big scoops. The big scoops.
So what we've been doing on here now is we're digging more deeper into the person rather than the character, the gimmick, or whatever.
It's like I always tell everybody, I'm not doing a character. This is me.
So this is Judas, and we'll get to that. Gimmick, character, whatever the kids are calling them these days, we're not going to dig into that. We're going to dig into the person. So I'm going to start with you, Judas. What got you into wrestling? When, where, and how?
When, where, and how? Well, it started back in the 80s, actually. Got trained by a man named Larry Saxton down in, Collinsville, Alabama. Started there.
I have no idea where that's at.
It's in the northeast corner of Alabama.
Okay.
But then I went and worked there for a good while. You know, that show finally closed up. And I went working with Jack Lord after I got out of the Army back in '96. Started working for him.
Now, I've heard of Jack Lord. Doesn't he make gear down there too? Like
yeah,
he still makes gear and stuff.
Makes some of the best gear there is. That's the reason why a lot of people that worked with me over the years, I've always directed them his direction.
See, I've been looking at going to Tights eventually again, and somebody told me to check with Jack Lord. So shameless plug for Jack Lord there.
Dang right. Yeah, I'll plug him all day long. He's always been good to me. He's always been good to everybody that's always got gear from him. So.
To not segue too far out, so you were working for Jack when you got out of the Army, and
yeah, after I got out of the Army, I went straight working with Jack. Worked with him till that show closed down, and I got completely out of it until 2012, and then come back as Judas the Mad Hatter, which me and Nick Nitros from NWA Southern All-Star Wrestling.
Yep.
Me and him, he trained me, and we put this gimmick together, and been doing it ever since.
So what were you doing before Judas the Mad Hatter? What was the character then, per se, when you first started training, when you were working for Jack and when you were working?
I was just a regular old referee, man. You know, senior referee most of the time.
So did you train to be a wrestler, or were you training to just be a ref or a manager?
I was trained to be a referee at the time, because at that time, you know, everybody was always bigger at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And I was one of the smaller guys, and I'm like, they ain't no damn way, you know, so I just went the referee route.
So what we're saying is, had this have been Judas the Mad Hatter training in, let's say, the early 2000s, we might see Judas the Mad Hatter, former 10-time cruiserweight champion of the world.
That would have been very possible, exactly.
Because, I mean, I'm sure you're bigger than some of the guys that's on the independent circuit now.
Hell, I know I'm bigger than Marco Stunt. I'm sure I kick his ass.
So before that, like you said, you and Nick Nitros kind of invented the Judas the Mad Hatter character.
Yes, that came actually from, like I said, I was in music for 18 years or whatever it was. The little hiatus there I took out of wrestling.
What were you doing in music? Because I know we had talked to Jeff Miller earlier. Like, Jeff Miller's a metalhead. I'm assuming Judas reminds me of something from like an 80s like metal album or some shit like that.
I was with a band called Wasted Mason. I've done lead vocals for them. That was my last stint with them. I've done lead vocals with them for a while. And I played guitar for them when I first started. And I played with a death metal band called Pearson Deception as a bass player for them. You know, like I said, I'd done that for a good long time. And I just finally totally got out of it and said, hell. And I went to a damn wrestling show. Next time I'm thinking, no, I got reeled back in. No, I got to get back in this. You know?
And it's kind of funny that we sit here and talk about wrestling and music because, like I said, my talk with Jeff Miller or Jason Blythe, a lot of musical influences on his character. Yeah. I know me and Chad have musical influences on ours. The O'Conley kids, hell, even Brian Rivers has a lot of musical influence. Yep. So it was a lot of Who musically influenced you to kind of create within the Judas character?
Judas Priest, obviously.
Okay. So you're a big Rob Halford fan?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not necessarily a fan of his standing in.
Oh yeah.
But you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Rob Halford's a badass, though.
Yeah, I love him, man. You know, him and Ripper Owens was a badass.
Have you ever seen Priest live?
Oh yes, I seen them last summer. Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I haven't seen them. I've seen them on Ozfest. Again, I go back to, I date myself a little bit. I think they were on Ozfest in 05 or 06.
Yeah,
I used to take leave in the military to go to see Ozfest.
Last time I seen them before that was the original band back in '84. Was the last time
Really?
I seen them until that time, until last year.
Who else did you see back in your music, your concert going days?
Well, like I said, Judas Priest. It was a band called Wild Side. They came out of nowhere. They had a one hit wonder back in the day, you know, with the damn on the metal side.
What was the song? Because I may have heard the song, but I just don't remember the band.
Hell, I can't remember the exact song they had. They had a shitload of good ones though.
Because I think Wild Side, I think the Motley Crue record that was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, matter of fact, I seen them back in 92, I think it was.
The Crew?
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't see them. It was the Wild Side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I was in the military, they came to the base.
How long were you in the military?
I was actually in active duty 4 years, 92, 96. But I was in Somalia in 93 during all that mess.
So that's something else too. I mean, here at SOM, we have a ton of. I'm a veteran myself.
Yep.
We have Derek Williams as a veteran. Chad, my tag team partner, is a veteran. It's almost like all the veterans got mixed in with you.
Yeah.
At one point or the other, in
exactly.
some form
Matter
or fashion.
Fact, me and Derek Williams, we actually shared some of the same sand over there.
Really?
So, yeah.
Y'all were there at the same time and just didn't know it?
I think he was there a little bit later on. I think is what it was.
Oh, shit.
Exactly. But he said we chewed on some of the same sand over there, so it was pretty cool.
And that's kind of crazy how all that intertwines. Me and Chad were stationed in Charleston together at the same time.
Yeah.
And never knew it. We probably bumped into each other 100 times and had no damn clue.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's a small world. You never know what you're gonna run into. You know, shit like this really blows your mind.
And that's one of the cool things about SOM here as well too. I mean, we are a veteran-owned business. James served in the United States Air Force as well as myself, and he's really opened the doors for a lot of us that, you know, deal with mental and physical ailments that we suffered as scars from over there, to really have an outlet to put that out there and to be somebody else, even if it is just for a little bit, to kind of cope with those scars, which I'm sure me and you probably both deal with in our own ways.
Oh yeah,
to a point.
Yeah, I just, you know, dealt with it best I could. You know, that's all you really do in those situations. You know.
And that's where characters like Judas and like Bronson come from, I think.
Matter of fact, when I was stationed over in Somalia, you know what I listened to a lot of the time was Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. I don't know why.
Great album.
It fired my ass up. You know, I was ready for anything at that time.
I still did in the, we'll say the early to mid 2000s. But yeah, Pantera was, that was definitely on our playlist in Turkey and in Korea and in some of the places that I was at as well.
The shit would fire you up when you down and stuff. You know,
it still does, man. Like fucking Cowboys from Hell and Walk.
Yep.
Yeah. Just any of that old Pantera shit, man. And going back, do you listen to anything new?
No, not necessarily. Not a whole lot of it. There's some bands I like out there, some, but I ain't really on them scene like I used to be, you know, because back when I was doing music, I paid a little more attention to it.
Speaking of Judas, I think that's kind of a nice little segue as far as Judas in wrestling today. Chris Jericho has his hit with Fozzy is Judas. You listen to Fozzy at all?
I've listened to them a little bit. I like them. I like what they put out. Really.
Do you like the song Judas?
I actually like the song.
If we were actually using commercial music, that'd be a hell of a song for you to come out to.
Yeah, it would. That would be my theme song right there.
So SOM, or School of Morton, or however you want to portray it now, it started School of Morton. We've kind of branched into our own thing as SOM Live. What brought you here? How did you find this place?
Well, I went to a show. Matter of fact, it was in Kingsport back. I can't remember what year it was, but I came. Ricky said, "You need to come check out my scoop." You know, I'll come out and check out your scoop. You know, whatever. You know.
Who was it running? Was it Bo or Tony that was running Kingsport then? Okay.
Yeah. Tony Givens. But anyway, I was working out there. And,
continuing on.
Continuing on. I was working out there. Came up here during they was having an Easter dinner or something, and had a show that day. I came up here, and I think we only run one show here before I come here. And I came here, and I've been here ever since. I found a love for this place, and we decided to start running. They decided to start running shows. I was like, well, it'd be a good time to build a brand. So that's the right reason I'm still here.
What did they initially have you doing? Because I know you were here long before I was, which I have a funny story about that as well. Is I found School of Morton through Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast, and I was actually listening to that in a Harris Teeter parking lot when my wife had sent me to go get groceries. And I was trying to find a way to kill time to not have to go back home for a second for whatever reason and just chill. But I found Ricky was on Stone Cold's podcast. So I went to the Facebook page as soon as I heard him on there. Right. And Judas was the first character that I seen on the page. Was you were doing a promo for an event coming up. And that's kind of what sucked me in, because I was like, man, this is an interesting, this is a different character, especially in an authority figure role. So what did they have you doing when you first came to the School of Morton?
When I first came here, I just come here as a manager.
Okay.
Who'd
you manage?
Managed Robert Laveau, and also managed the Scorpion. Or the Scorpion.
Was the Scorpion what the Scorpion is now then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I had a great time. Like I said, I come up here just out of nowhere, and hell, like I said, I fell in love with the place. Started running the show, working the shows and stuff, and I'm like, hell, next thing I know, I'm still here, and here I am again, still here. So.
What led to Judas the authority figure? What was the big storyline or the big angle that led to you taking over SOM?
That really pissed Ricky Morton off. But yeah, he was totally surprised. Didn't let him in on it. And just surprised him.
So y'all worked Ricky.
Worked the hell out
with that angle.
I worked his ass.
That's some funny shit.
It was. I could tell he was mad, just because I could just tell, because the back of my neck started just, that damn tingling feeling like if you was on speed or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I ever have been.
Yeah,
Kids,
me either,
don't do speed.
Don't do drugs. But anyway, that's the feeling I got. It just to chill up my spine. I was like, yeah, he's mad.
What was the angle that led to that? Did they just bring you out and say, hey, Judas is in charge now? Ricky hit the bricks? Or was
Yeah, I pretty much come out and told him, I said, I own this place, I can do any damn thing I want to. And what are you going to do about it? And he's like, what then? What then? I just walked off and left him.
Was that what brought Bobby Eaton into the fold? Because I remember seeing the angle, they did the last battle of the Expresses here.
Yeah, he came in later on that. Plus,
you managed Bobby in that, correct?
Well, no.
Oh, I thought you did.
Brian Thompson came in with him.
Okay.
I had the Barbarian come in.
Okay.
And he come in because I ended up being handcuffed to Ricky when
I think I've seen video of that.
Yeah, he was John Z and the Robert Laveau.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up handcuffed, and of course, knowing me, I always come up with a trick. I always come out of that shit. You know what I mean? So.
Speaking of tricks, I remember when I first came here, I was doing a number of different duties. Referee happened to be one.
Yeah.
And one of the moments when I was refereeing, Robert Laveau, that's a mouthful to say sometimes.
Which you need to contact me.
Love you, Wesley.
Love you,
he was working Menace, and Menace went for a springboard that sent you flying into about the fifth row. So do we have any stories about the infamous Menace springboard?
Yeah, somebody don't know how to apparently forgot how to protect herself at that moment, which was me. And instead of guarding my grill, I guarded my grill perfectly, but I didn't guard the rest of my body, so there I went.
It was the rest of the body that went flying out with Donna and Shelby into the first row?
Yeah, I had a guy catch me out there, and there was a couple of them run out of the damn way. They didn't want to catch me, of course, that's normal. Nobody wants to catch my ass. So that's the way it ended up.
Did Donna give you mouth-to-mouth after you fell?
I don't know. Apparently, they said I must have got knocked out because I don't remember some of it.
So you were like shoot knocked out from that fall?
Or they seemed to think, I didn't think it was, but, they said they thought it got me killed. And I'm like, well, hell, did it look good? Well, hell, that's all you need. Hell, we're good, we're fine.
I remember it vividly because as a new guy, I was like, man, what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
Because I was just standing there. I didn't know if you were hurt, if you were dead, like what the hell was going on?
Well, I came up, I recovered.
How many people do you feel over time you have managed in your managerial stint?
I've had quite a few. I can't put a number on it really. I know I first started, my first managing job was with some guy I can't remember actually, you know. But the next one I managed was the most decorated tag team at that time in NWA Southern All Star Wrestling. Matter of fact, in NWA as a whole was the Lords of Chaos. It was
Who was in that team? Like I remember the name, but I can't remember.
Oh, it was Lance Erickson and Damian Wayne.
Okay, Damien's a hell of a
I love Damian.
hell of a hand.
Loved him to death, man. Like I said, the only thing they was missing was the World Tag Team titles, and some circumstances I guess happened, and never did get to make it over to Japan to try to attempt to get the title.
Damien's phenomenal. Damien's actually been to the school, and he's trained a lot of the guys here
Yes.
a few times. Damien is phenomenal. Damien, call us.
Yeah, definitely call us, man. Miss you. LOK for life. Remember that.
It would be cool to have Damian Wayne back here as well.
Yeah.
Here at SOM Live. I think he'd bring a lot as far as training and as far as talent would go.
Yeah, that man, he's a great guy. I got in a situation one time, I can't remember, I think it was over in North Carolina, and some guy was going to attack me outside. He turned around on it. He's fixing to come out on that son of a bitch and whoop his ass, you know. Of course, I was already had Scully up there ready to swing at bats, you know.
And see, that's what's funny, and to kind of, you know, pull the curtain back a little bit on all of this, is you were telling that story, and then there's probably a number of different stories we could tell. As a manager, I'm sure a lot of fans just think that a manager is just some guy that they throw with guys and say, hey, walk out to the ring with them, hold the ropes open, whatever the case may be.
Might be the case of some promotions, but not this one.
Yeah, I can speak from experience, and I'm not just saying this because I have you on the interview with. You've helped me out a lot just in my short career as well, giving me advice, telling me what to do and what not to. And I know you did that for myself, for Chad, for Brian Rivers, for Darrow Conley, everybody that's in the family. Even before, when I was working guys that you weren't working, you kind of acted as a manager for all of us here. And
I try to,
advice.
you know, somebody's got to watch out for you. You know, a lot of these guys coming in here young, don't know what the hell, ain't never been in the business. Just now starting out, they ain't got a damn clue what kind of bullshit's out there. So I try to instill them not to do this or that, because, you know, integrity's a lot to do with it, you know.
And it's kind of cool to have that, because when I first came here, like a lot of other people in this area, I felt that the be-all, end-all in this area was a promotion that we you know, vaguely referenced at the beginning of this. And I remember I had talked to them about coming up and working a show on, it was like a Veterans Day show, and he wanted to book veterans.
Right.
And I had that discussion with you before anybody, honestly. And you kind of had my back on that and kind of smartened me up to what was going on. And I know you did that for a lot of people. So as being a manager, do you kind of feel it is your due diligence to be sort of the manager of SOM?
Yeah.
And to these guys and kind of tell them, smarten them up about the business, per se.
Yeah, you got to, because like I said, they don't. If you're fresh in the business, you don't know exactly what the hell you're doing. So you need to listen to these people that's been in the business, that's been around and seen what, you know, seen the ins and outs of it. It makes a lot of sense, believe me.
And that's what's cool about the family right now, is we do kind of have that. Like, we kind of have you at the head of it, who's been around for forever, honestly.
Yeah.
And you've seen a lot of shit go down. And then we have Brian, who's had a storied career himself, who is kind of the big brother role.
Right.
And then you have me and Chad, the frat guys, who a little bit older than the normal frat guy, but we're still the young guys, still getting to learn. But we have you guys to pull
the
from.
Fonzie was 45. I don't know what the hell, you know.
And that's true. and then we have Dara, who is, I mean, she's just starting her career, but you've kind of taken her under your wing as well. Yeah, and she's becoming a hell of a hand in the ring and as a manager as well.
She's a great worker. Great worker.
Have you ever, besides her, kind of mentored anybody on that outside role that, you know, you'd like to shout out? Or
no, like I said, they was some of the ones from the previous promotion. You know, I'd like to give them a shout out, you know, because I was actually of course they was just basically the next step after Lords of Chaos, which was Chaos. And of course, you know, big Travis Lee, Travis Dykes, Sarah Nyes. She was trying to, you know, learn to work and stuff. She's getting better. She's improving. And also,
Travis is a crazy bastard.
Yeah.
I've talked to Travis on
both
DMs.
Travises are nuts, man. I love them both. And also Jeff Conley. Can't forget Jeff. I love Jeff, you know.
And Jeff's a great worker. He's local. Jeff's great. Jeff's phenomenal. But the thing with Travis is when me and Chad, we had a street fight with the Doolies. And I was like, who could I ask for just some crazy shit
Yeah,
to
right,
do?
yeah.
And Travis Dykes is actually the person that I DM.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I'm going to have this match. I want to do some crazy shit. Like, what crazy shit would you suggest? And I actually did a lot of the stuff that he suggested, and it got over brilliantly. He travels and does a lot of the deathmatch shit. Like, have you ever went to any of the stuff, any of the deathmatch tournaments with Travis?
No, I never did get to go to him. I'd like to have went with him.
Is that something you would do?
I wouldn't.
So as far as managing, has there ever been any guys that you've managed that has went to the next level? Or?
No. Just like I said, Damian Wayne and Lance Erickson's the biggest ones I can think of I've ever done.
That was the stars of your man. Has there ever been any guys that you've had under your wing that you're like, man, why hasn't somebody signed this damn guy?
That would be my majority. Laveau, you know, he was a good worker and stuff. And I don't know what he's doing now, if he gave it up or what, but he was a hell of a worker.
He helped me out a lot when I first started.
And you and Chad and Brian, of course, you know, him being an experienced veteran. Ain't nothing. I would put y'all up against any of them right now, to be honest with you.
Hell, that means a lot to me.
Dara included.
That means a lot to me because, like I said, you're one of the first people that kind of, even when you weren't managing me in training, you would pull me aside and talk to me. I don't know if you've seen something in me or if you're just like, this kid looks lost as hell. I'm going to smarten him up a little bit.
You can talk, you can work, and you put that shit all together oh so well. And I guess it's my way of showing you respect to show you, okay, you're doing the right stuff. Keep on doing it, you know.
That means a lot to me personally. Like, I can't thank you enough for those compliments.
No problem. Facts are facts, baby. Remember that.
Where are you looking to go as far as your wrestling career? I mean, obviously we're here. I mean, is it something?
Well, I want to not only take myself, I want to take SOM Live even farther than what we've gone. We've gone a long ways in the 5 years. I think I've been here 5 years. I think it'd be 5 years Easter. I'm not sure. Maybe 6. I can't remember. It's a blur. It's went by so fast. It's been great, you know. So I don't know exactly how long it's been, but it's
just the changes that's taken place
SOM
personally. I've been here 3, and just the change. Or I'm entering I entered my 3rd actually this month here at SOM. But just the changes that I've seen, and I know you've seen way more than I have. It's crazy where we have progressed to.
Right.
And then we're about to have a show weekly, every Sunday at 5:05.
Live.
And that's something that no other independent promotion anywhere has.
Exactly. It hadn't been like that in a long time, you know, where you actually had a live show like the good old studio days, you know.
Especially NWA's doing it, but a lot of people consider NWA the big boys. So as far as having an independent promotion doing a live show that's storyline driven every week, I mean, that's to have started where this place came from in the pictures that I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty insane stuff, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing you don't see a lot in the rest of it. Now, NWA, they're doing pretty good with storylines and stuff, but majority of them don't do that, especially in these independents out here, you know. And a lot of these, I've had seen, you know, I can't keep up with it, you know what I'm saying? But with us, you can keep up with it every week. You can keep up exactly what the hell's going on and know exactly who the parties are, hate who you want to, love who you want to. And like I said, it's gotten bigger and better. And look at some of the people that came in here with us, you know, and joined us, stuff like Austin Theory last year, you know. I mean,
he's on NXT now.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it ain't just him. We're out here to push our own stars, you know, and that's the key thing. We can book any damn body we want to. That's not a problem. The problem, that's not, you know, that wouldn't be a problem at all.
Oh, yeah.
But the damn thing of it is, I want people, and I know everybody else here is engaged in it, wants to be the stars here. You know, to be stars not just here, but on down the road somewhere. You know, you got to, because, you know, this, like you said, this come out. We're actually at a school, but the separation is SOM Live. That is actually a product. You can't. I know you got to see them both in the same picture, but they're not two and one and the same, basically. You know what I'm saying?
It's sort of like a smaller level NXT.
Right, yeah.
Because NXT's the same product. We obviously don't have the money and the capabilities that they have, but NXT is its own training facility in Florida.
Yeah.
And I would put NXT up against Raw and SmackDown personally, as far as products concerned. Yeah. And they have their home at Full Sail. We have our own home here at the School of Morton in Chuckey, Tennessee.
Right.
But big things coming later on down the pipeline as well. We're the only independent promotion in Tennessee I know that's working. Georgia, where else we've been? Florida, Virginia.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. I'd love to go to South Carolina if anybody wants to book us in Charleston or
That's
Columbia.
the thing.
Please.
We've hit pretty much the East Coast here in the last year, actually, if you think about it.
And we have fans. I know you have a fairly big social media presence. Chad has gotten me and him a major social media presence. And there's fans from Washington State, Missouri, Michigan, Minnesota, all these places that are hitting us up.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we have kids. The O'Conley kids came from, where was it, like, damn, Arizona or somewhere.
Well, the thing I think
Just to come here.
What's cool about my following, I'm covering 7 continents, basically. I've seen, people from Germany and all kinds of damn places. That
Tom
actually
Fulton.
like me.
You spent a week with Tom Fulton back this summer.
Yes, I loved it, man.
Did you learn anything from Tom? Did you?
Yeah, yeah. I learned the place is very small, and everybody knows everybody. He knows Drew McIntyre and a bunch of them, Found out they come from a pretty close, tight-knit group there. Of course, they had to go outside there to work.
Oh, yeah. Tom was just kind of picking his brain and talking wrestling and soccer with Tom. That was a real cool experience, man.
Yeah, it's cool. And I actually got by the accents, it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
He understood me, I understood him. It was no problem,
I was stationed in Europe, so he was actually amazed that my football or soccer knowledge was what it was. But, I spent 5 years in Europe, so it kind of is what it is.
Right, yeah.
So with SOM coming up, any shout-outs you want to make, or anybody you want to say hi to besides the people that we already have? Or
No, just everybody just keep tuning in, man. That's all I can really say. And it's getting bigger and better, and it's going to get bigger and better. Mark my words, 2020 is the year that SOM Live might go somewhere a little farther than you think it's going to go.
And stay tuned. It's hard to tell who the hell I'm going to have sitting in the seat on the next one. We'll see you next time.
Later.